Friends, it is once again Crypto Tuesday. Unfortunately, Big Bird couldn't be here. He has a birthday to attend to, but I'm going to answer any questions if I can, if I know what's going on. I want to talk about the ISO 222 coins. I want to show some posts that I've seen that are very interesting. We are coming into an incredibly new world. We are becoming it's kind of like the old world has is in the process of melting off, and we're coming to life. It's like springtime for the humans, where the old frigid air of pomp and circumstance and forms. I was dealing with my LLC today. It is maddening. You cannot, the IRS, I tried to call the IRS, forget about it. You cannot, having this kind of paralyzing, muffling aperture, like this system that is not responsive to humanity, that is only responsive to their own needs. These are the ultimate parasites. But we are about to make a tremendous movement into economic freedom, and this will be facilitated, this will be brought about by the ISO 222 coins. The banksters, the bad guys, have built this empire on. Oh, did I hold on a second? One second. I didn't take off Big Bird from this. Let me just. Okay. Uh, okay. So we're coming into this new age where I saw this post, and we're going to read it together. But just like you can text your friend, you'll be able to send money to your friend. You'll be able to buy things. Some stream details for crypto failed to update. Try again. Okay, let's try again. Um, okay, forget about it. Okay. Anyway, we're coming into a new world where things will be just like you can text your friend. You'll be able to trade things with money. It will be a kind of an ultimate creative realm. Creativity. That's what, in my opinion, that's what this whole awakening is about. Is becoming creative in in every aspect of your life, of embracing the creativity of your soul. So when the money makes this movement from being blanketed by this creature, these archons, these fiends that just make it impossible for you to do anything in a spontaneous way. Once this blanket of censorship and personal profit, I mean, if it takes them 3 days for your money to clear, that's because they're investing it. It's becoming less so, but we're entering a period where you will be instantly creative. Okay, so with that said, how does this relate to crypto? So with crypto, you don't need to go through the bank. You don't need to go through these layers of insanity that they blanketed our economic system with. You will be able to deal direct, you'll be able to do fast, you'll be able to do things spontaneously. It's going to be a new world. How is this going down? I kind of feel like maybe I'm going too fast here. Like, you guys just want to learn. Is it that you just want to learn how to invest in crypto and how to How to deal with it, I'm not sure. But okay, so let me go to this clip and let's start reading this clip, and you can decide for yourself if you understand the message, and we'll get more into the sort of local things about crypto. Let's go here. We'll get more into it on a kind of granular level of which assets you want to invest in, how you want to invest in them, and the future of this system. But we're seeing the destruction, the ongoing destruction of the deep state and their financial system, which enslaves us to debt slavery, is being removed. Not so much as in they're being taken down, but they're being replaced. They're being infiltrated from within by this powerful force, which is the ISO 222 coins and their related enterprises, so that you'll be able to do things in a really fun way. Okay, so here I'm going to go through this whole clip. I think it's a very interesting clip. It's been a while. Grab a coffee. Let's take a walk. What are they actually trying to build? They're trying to build a world where humans pay humans. You can trade directly. You can give. I mean, right now, Daniela and James and I are living together. We're trading together. We're eating together. And yet, when it comes to banking, it's impossible, and it's maddening to the nth degree. And I went to a local bank. We went to a credit union. They said, come here, come to us. All you need is your EIN number from your LLC. Well, I can't find the EIN number, and the IRS doesn't have the EIN number, and so I can't start a business account in which we could exchange money really easily.
Well, you can. It's your social.
On Truth Social?
No, it's your social
Yeah.
security.
Social Security, right? Okay, so there may be a way I can get around this, but the point is that everything is under lock and key. Everything is gatekeepers. Everything is parasites. Everything is middlemen. In the near future, we won't be dealing with this. We'll be dealing direct. You want to send 1,000 XLM to your friend? You can actually do that already, but it will become much more commonplace where everyone understands that just send me some XLM. It will become the new currency in a sense, but it's more than that because you can tokenize on these assets. Anybody there? I don't know. I don't see any comments. I got 23 people here. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm reading this. Okay, so we're going to build a world where humans pay humans, businesses pay businesses, machines pay machines automatically, without a credit card, without an invoice, without a banking wire, without waiting 2 to 3 days, and just instant value exchange. Think AI paying for data, AI paying for computing power, AI paying for API access, AI paying AI for service 24/7, no humans involved. Why does this matter? Thanks, Go Time. I'm glad to see someone's out there. Why does this matter? Today, the internet moves information instantly, okay? But money doesn't. Money, you have to go through a broker, you have to do this, you have to do that. You can send me a text instantly. You can send me an email instantly. You can send me a photo instantly, but you can't send me $4.37. You're here. Okay, good. Now we're talking. Okay, Visa card, MasterCard, ACH, banks, fees, delays, settlement. It's ridiculous when you think about it. The next evolution of the internet is value moves as easily as information. What X402 actually is. Imagine every website on earth suddenly had a cash register built into it. That's basically X402. An API says this data costs 2 cents. Your AI agent pays 2 cents instantly, receives the data, moves on, no account creation, no subscription, no invoice. Hey, Greg, just pay and go. Where AWS comes in, that's Amazon. Let me just, I had this. AWS is Amazon Web Services. Okay, where I think that's what this is. Amazon Web Services and the infrastructure of the internet, huge chunks of the world running on AWS, Netflix, thousands of banks, millions of applications. So if AWS, if Amazon Web Services starts participating in agentic payments, that's not a crypto experiment. Okay, it's not like some weird crypto like, oh, XRP, what is that? We're talking about the power structures on the planet. Amazon, Netflix, moving on the rails of crypto technology. What that's real infrastructure when XRP and RLUSD fit. That's where they fit. This is where people get confused. XRP and RUSD are not the destination. In a way, it's confusing to think of investing in XRP and XLM because they are utilities. It's kind of like investing in the railroad, of monetary exchange. They're tools. Think of them like RLUSD, the digital dollar, stable, predictable, no volatility, no creepazoids inflating away your money, no creepazoids spending infinitely on NGOs. I mean, the whole structure, this whole corrupt corporate structure will be completely dissolved. And it may not make a big noise, but it's going to happen. We're going to evolve into a sense of freedom. And I'm just kind of touching the edges on this description. But stable, predictable, no volatility. Perfect for that's my 3 cent payment. XRP, the bridge asset, the liquidity asset, the thing that can move value from point A to point B very quickly and cheaply, especially across different systems and currencies. The simple analogy, imagine, this is a great analogy, okay? What other platforms is Big Bird on? He's not on any other platform. He is mine. He is my friend that I brought on. He's not on tonight because his son is having a birthday. But and he is dedicated to his family, and I totally appreciate that. But he's not on other platforms. We're going to get into nitty gritty stuff. I know you guys want to hear the practical thing. I'm just going to give you the big picture of what is happening, and then we're going to talk in a more granular way. I'll show you some charts. We're going to talk about specific assets that you should be investing in, this kind of thing. I'm going to get more specific, but right now I just want to get into the flavor and the depth, the sea change, the tsunami of financial change that we're about to entertain. So here is an analogy. The simple analogy. Imagine 10 years ago, you own a gas station. Everyone still writes checks. A company walks in and says, we're installing Visa terminals. Most people say, who cares? Then another gas station installs it, and another, and customers start expecting it. Okay, this is how the change is going to go down. People don't know about it now. People at the XRP, most people don't know what you're talking about. Then suddenly, if you don't accept Visa, you're losing business. And that's what you're watching. The market isn't asking, will XRP be $10 tomorrow? Okay, it's not it's not that kind of thing. Will it be $10 next tomorrow? It doesn't matter to me because I understand its value. And I wouldn't sell it at $10. If it went to $10, I'd still be like, that's nice. If it goes to $100, that's nice. If it goes to $1,000, great. $100,000, okay, maybe, by then everything will be, you will be a part of this incredible universe. You will be like the stars in the sky, trading in ways that you can't imagine now. And one of the key points to being an investor is to trade things that capture your interest. So imagine investing in, a beach house in Laguna Beach, on using your XRP, using you instantly saying, waking up in the middle of the night and saying, I really want to spend some time on Laguna Beach, and just instantly being able to procure that position to invest in that aspect, that time of your life. So the market isn't asking, will XRP be $10 tomorrow? The market is deciding which rails the future payments run on. Big difference. Okay, they're not asking how much is it worth. They're asking what will be used in the near future. Okay. Why I keep saying follow the plumbing. This is a very interesting analogy. Nobody gets excited about sewer pipes. Nobody gets excited about electrical wires. Nobody gets excited about internet fiber until everything depends on them. The biggest fortunes are usually made by owning the infrastructure before the public realizes its infrastructure. This is what we're talking about. This is going to be the infrastructure of the future. Very few people, a very small percentage of humanity has even heard of XRP or XLM or the ISO 222 coins. They will, just like we didn't know about Visa cards some years ago, about credit cards. Everything was you either had cash or a check, and then everything turned into credit cards. Well, we're about to move into the next wave of financial technology. My take, the interesting part isn't AWS, Amazon Web Services. The interesting part isn't Ripple. The interesting part isn't X402. The interesting part is that AI is creating a brand new category of economic activity, machine to machine commerce. And somebody has to provide identity, settlement, liquidity, payment rails, accounting, compliance for that world. The question investors should be asking isn't, did AWS mention XRP? The better question is, if billions of AI transactions happen every day in 5 to 10 years, who gets paid for facilitating them? That's the story. Everything else is noise. The speed and the trade and the unconscious nature of our financial future, this cloud of finances, this star system, this Milky Way of everything cascading in different directions at once. Okay, so everything else is noise. The chart guys are watching candles. The infrastructure guys are watching who is laying the railroad tracks. And right now, AWS, Amazon Web Services, RLUSD, XRP, X402, and T54, I'm not sure what those are, appear to be laying pieces of the same track. Whether that becomes massive adoption remains to be seen. But that's the bet people are making when they get excited about announcements like this. AWS just plugged into X402 and accept agentic payments. T54 provides the XPR, I can't see it, L, and X402 facilitator, meaning structure XRP. So they're using XRP to move funds, these humongous, gigantic corporations, these communication platforms. They may communicate in goods and services like Amazon or web information. But this is about to be transferred into the financial world. Brian Best, Spiritual Bean Coffee. Sorry to ask again, but can you please put the link to the last Tuesday show? I can't do it again. I maybe if Shelby's here, but he's coming back next Tuesday, so you'll have plenty of time to get to know Big Bird. Okay, he just took 1 week off. What other platforms is Big Bird on? Okay, I think you've asked this. Maybe
You already read that first one.
right. Okay, so yes, ZBCN for your paycheck. Yes, so this is now we'll get into actual investments. Okay, do not leave your crypto on the exchanges. Get yourself a cold wallet. Like, okay, that's not information. I'm not going to give you any information about that. Big Bird will, it will educate you in those about those things. I'm here to just tell you the general flow of things. And one of the things that Big Bird is telling me is that ZBCN is a very good investment now. I'm not an investment advisor, but it is you can get it for pennies on the dollar. The other asset that Big Bird is recommending people look into is Flare Network. Flare Network is trading like something like 0.008 cents. So you can own 24,000 Flare Network coins of Flare Network for $200. Okay, let's say. This is what the big boys who invested in Bitcoin. This is when I remember somebody introducing me to Bitcoin when it was cents on a dollar. And I was just like, what is, I didn't have the faith. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't know enough about it to understand that this was some very interesting and could have been highly profitable knowledge. But I just, it was for a few fractions of a cent. ZBCN, Flare Network. Yeah, those are two investments that you can now buy. Now, remember, HBAR, which is an excellent investment, I think it's now like, I seem to remember it's like 20 cents or something like that. HBAR, when it came out, and unfortunately, I lived in New York City, I couldn't buy it, but it was just like this. It was 0.000 something. And I could have bought 10,000 HBARs that now is at 20 cents. So if you can wrap your mind around this, if you can understand that the profits to be made in the ISO 20022 world are exponential. right? They're not, it's not like owning a great stock or, a great stock. You can't, you don't have, unless you're a billionaire or a millionaire or a wealthy person. I don't have enough money to buy, like I would like to buy SpaceX, but I just I don't have the cash. However, I can buy Flare Network. I could buy 10,000 Flare networks for, like $100. And when that takes off, the money will be really, it'll be exponential. XLM is another very good thing. It's like 20 cents. Now, I started buying it when it was 8 cents. Big deal. It's 20 cents. So what? XLM is in from what I understand is going to be the coin that when you want to send your friends some money, you will probably be using XLM. XRP is a banker's coin. So that will be used by the banks to transfer huge amounts of money. What most XRP investors understand is that for banks to send, just like they used to wire on the SWIFT system, you want to send $25,000 to a foreign country, you have to use the SWIFT system. So if you wanted to wire that amount of money to a friend in Zimbabwe, say, with XRP, you would have to send, it's $1 or something a piece. So you would be sending a lot, hundreds of thousands of XRP or well, let's see, you'd be sending like $10,000 worth of XRP, but right, but as the numbers, for banks, they're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars being transferred. It's not convenient for XRP to be $1.23. It has to be. I mean, that's what David Schwartz says. Is David Schwartz? Joel Katz. I'm sorry. Joel Katz says is that it doesn't make sense for XRP to be $1.23. It makes sense for XRP to be $100,000 because the banks are going to be moving tremendous amounts of financial credits, let's say, assets, which will probably have some relationship to gold and silver. I mean, there's been this kind of rumor that XRP is going to be gold, or that Bitcoin is going to be gold. I don't know what's going on with Bitcoin. I don't buy it, but I did hear that Tether, which is the financial underpinnings of Bitcoin, is not being accepted by a lot of countries in Europe. And I think Tether is a scam, just like the fiat currency. And we are seeing the slow destruction of the federal banking system and the stranglehold they have on people, so that we will soon arrive at a point where financial investments it'll be like going on Facebook. It'll be like texting your friend. It'll be like, gee, I haven't seen Joe Schmo in ages, but it'll be like for me, I like to have relationships that are based on some kind of tangible business exchange, right? Because it to me, it seems almost wasteful to be spending a lot of time with somebody. And I'm not saying to make money, but I'm saying that if I have a relationship with someone, I want to be doing business with them. It doesn't mean that I want to make money with them. It just means that I want to create with them, because I'm all about creation. So James has moved on to our land. What are we talking about? We are saying yes to all kinds of ideas about what we plan to do with our land and our growing plants. but we're talking about maybe starting another YouTube channel where I don't mention politics and we just talk about developing the land. We're talking about certain varieties of mangoes that fetch a very high price and are absolutely delicious. We don't know what, but the point is that in order for me to have a friendship that matters, yes, I call my mom, I don't do business with mom, okay, but in order for me to have, it's like playing in the sandbox, man. I mean, I don't want to just stand in the sandbox and chat. I want to build something with you. That's just me. I am that kind of person. I'm driven to always be creating and doing things. It's just my nature. So I'm not happy if I'm standing around kind of like, how you doing? What's going on? I want to create something with you. And with the flow of money being taken out. I mean, I am so frustrated by the banking system that I can't find a way yet, because we don't have the kind of what should I say, social credit score type. We're not normies, and we don't have necessarily the addresses. Like, I don't have a real address. All these kinds of things make it very difficult for me to exchange money with folks. But in the near future, we won't be blanketed by these parasites anymore, and we'll be able to exchange money really fast. These are the rails. It doesn't make sense for XRP to be $1. Think of the banks. I mean, you can make a mistake. You're sending $1 billion and you make one zeros off. It's just not going to happen. And when money becomes a real thing, when all the fraud is taken off the books, when all this fraud, when all these NGOs that steal our tax-paying monies and suck them into black holes and adrenochrome factories and this sort of thing, when all these disappear, we will be dealing with no corruption, no wars. We'll be dealing with honest money, with creativity, pure and simple, in a joyous way. Money is not the root of evil. It's the people who control the money. Money is a beautiful thing. I mean, we up here, we don't always have cash flow. So we have to wait on our projects. But, I was telling James and Daniela, we're coming into a period where we're going to have all the resources we need. So we won't have to wait 2 weeks to get the fence, or to keep the critters off the garden. We'll just like, okay, we need the fence today, let's go get it. It will change the flavor of our creative experience. I nearly bought $1,000 of Bitcoin in 2009. Right, I also did. And I, at the end of the day, a couple of weeks later, I was like, I don't know what this stuff is. The guy who sold it to me was a known, like, not a criminal, but a drug dealer. But he was, at the end of the day, I think he was a really nice person and a very creative, and just somebody who was way ahead of his time. And I was not quite there yet, but at least I found out about it. It's the whole flow of money is divinely driven. So the divine resources will flow your way when the time is right, and when you're in a position to really use it. Now we're in a position to really be able to utilize money in a very practical way. We're not just investing, we're creating we're creating a farm. We're growing food for ourselves and others. We're growing pathways. We're learning how to build a house for very little money, and how to utilize a well and a well pump and water systems. I mean, all this is a slow learning process. I mean, slow. It's taken us 2 years, but money matters to us up here because we want to invest in pistachio trees. We want to invest in walnut trees. We want to have enough soil, additional soil and nutrients and resources. We've learned how to do everything cheap. We've learned how to buy windows for $10 a glass a vinyl piece of window, a nice big window for $10 a piece. We can go down to Phoenix and for $100, we can come back with 10 windows and build a greenhouse. This is how our resources. But imagine if you can relate, if you have relationships across the world where you can start, you want to talk to somebody in Costa Rica about a certain tree that you can't grow up here. They send you seeds, or the possibilities will be infinite, because we won't be spending all our time fending off these creepazoids. Anyway, so Flare Network is good. Which XRP? There are quite a few options. I don't know what options are. There are no options. There's just XRP. Metals, silver. In my humble opinion, there are quite a few options. Yes, you're right. I don't know what SPCX is. SpaceX. Yes, SpaceX is a great investment, but I don't have $200 to invest in one. So if SpaceX goes to $1,000, I'll make $800. If Flare Network goes to 10 cents, I'll have $10,000, $20,000. That's the difference. And like Paul Little is saying, that you're being given insider information in that you have the ability to listen to people who are in tune with the future and understand where the world is going. So if you don't own any ISO 222 coins, if you don't own any silver or maybe gold or SpaceX or DJT, I think DJT, I own some DJT. I bought it back when it really dropped down. We don't know. But the point is that in terms of creativity, you are driven to invest in things that you love to think about. So for us, it's investing in greenhouses, it's investing in fruit trees and nut trees, and investing in our water functioning. Like we've installed the back of our toilet. I mean, we're recreating reality in a sense. We don't live in the city, so we've had to flush the toilet with a bucket, and now we put in the plumbing so that we could hook up a toilet and just use a regular flapper. This is monumental for us, but it has put us into a very practical flow where we understand the possibilities. We understand that with another 9 solar panels, I can power the whole house and have power for the RV. We want to build like our kind of civilization up here. There are properties. There is so much land for sale up here. I figured out today, I spent about $700 an acre, but you can buy acreage that already has a well on it, already has a septic tank, and you could come up here and we could show you what we did. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just you don't need a lot of money to get into a creative situation where you can play in the sandbox with your friends all day long. For me, it's like playing on the beach. I used to sit on the beach when I was a little kid and dig channels in the sand and watch the water go and build a bridge and build a big pool and a little pool and that is still fun for me. So now instead of doing that, I'm digging, with my my little what do you call this thing? Pickaxe. I'm digging, I'm putting in PVC pipes. Soon we'll be switching over to copper pipes. But all this is using money. But we are coming into a time period where money won't be such you won't have to think about it all the time. It'll be part of your consciousness, like texting a friend, and it'll be instantaneous. So that's where we're going. So yeah, CBN, Flare Network, XRP. So So what we are offering you here, I think, in my opinion, is the ability to buy Bitcoin. So we saw what happened to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a worthless hunk of junk. It's slow. It's it's backed by Tether, which is a scam, and it takes forever to transfer things. So that was like MySpace, and now we're coming into like Facebook or whatever. You are at the cutting edge of economic uh, evolution. And if you own 100 XRP, you own 1,000 XRP, you, in my opinion, you're guaranteed a place in this creative financial future, because you don't want to be limited like we've been limited. We in the beginning when I came up here, I'm like, I want to buy a Q hut. I think they're called Quonset hut, right? $20,000. And then I'm like, I don't have $20,000 to have like an instant house, which actually would require a certain amount of labor. But I decided I would, currently hodl, right? A good amount of crypto, right? That is good advice. Developed out of Stanford, designed to be everything that BTC is not. ISO 220, millions of KYC users, MiCA compliant, etc. Currently hodl a good amount of Pi cryptocurrency, developed out of Stanford. Yeah. Okay. So I don't exactly know what Paul is talking about, but I'm just saying hodl. Put some money out. We have to, I believe that part of this evolution into a new species involves a kind of just like the billionaires. Do billionaires have to worry about whether or not they can finance a pool house for they just get it. They just say, okay, I want a pool house over here. And that's the kind of instantaneous creativity that we'll be dealing with in the future. Okay, so now I'm going to just show you, like, if in my opinion, to look at the price of XRP, to look at the price of XLM is only advantageous when the market is down, because when the market is down, you can buy more of it. But it doesn't matter to me. It does not matter to me whether XRP is 100. I mean, it does matter. But in the scheme of things, whether it's $10 or $100,000 or $1 million for an XRP coin, I'm not selling. I am holding that for the future. And I will utilize it to continue this creative venture, except that in the future, I won't have to think, let's go down to Phoenix and buy $100, buy 10 windows for $100, or 4 sliding glass doors for $100. We will be, let's buy a state-of-the-art greenhouse, possibly. I don't know. But it's possible that will be creative on a bigger scale. But the idea that there is what's going on here in the Mojave Desert near me is that there's a lot of land for sale up here. And if I had money, a lot more money, I think I would like to invest in more land. I would like to see people developing a creative lifestyle in the desert. And we are living on the cheap. But there's no reason you can't have very advanced air conditioning and greenhouses and gardens and pools and whatever, if you have the money. And for me, that's the exciting part of this creative venture. I don't want to go to a popular place like, let's say, Colorado's gorgeous and they have rivers and winters, but I'm not crazy about winter. But but I'm paying I may be paying $50,000 for an acre of beautiful land. I would rather have the creative possibility of engaging with the Mojave Desert with 170 acres where I can, at some point I'll say to somebody that I really love and I want and wants to be in my circle of influence, we'll say, okay, let's build you a house down there. I mean, you won't even see me. We won't see each other. You won't even drive by my house. And we'll put a house down there. It'll be a most beautiful house that it could ever be designed. And you want fountains and you want this. I mean, that's what I'm buying here. I'm buying, just like with the XRP and the XLM, I'm kind of buying a blank canvas. I'm buying the ability to create what I want to create. And it's, maybe I want to spend 6 months working on a novel and eating James's, weirdo mangoes that he ordered that are selling in the Japanese markets for $30 a pop. 30 to $50 for one of the mangoes that James wants to grow here. And we will, that to me is real wealth. James would be like, hey man, the mangoes are ripe. You want one? I'll be like, yeah, let's eat some mangoes. We grew them. We bought the tree for $80 and now the fruit is selling for $30 to $50 because it's a big mango and not many people can get it. This is the utility. Yes. So this is why XRP, XLM and the like, and the ISO 222 coins are so important because they will be used. Bitcoin was used for a while, but it was created by Jeffrey Epstein and the boys. But in the near future, and this could happen at any time, we could wake up tomorrow and find out that XRP and XLM are selling for $100 a coin. It would not shock me out of my reality. It would just be like, okay, it finally went up to what it should be. I am amazed that I knew about this so many years back in 5 years ago. I was looking at Bitcoin, and then I discovered 5 or 6, I don't know how many years, but I was buying Bitcoin at I think I started, it was, I don't remember. It was either 700 or 7,000, whatever. I started buying it, and then it went to 20,000. I didn't make a lot of money because I was still new to the idea of investing, but I took all my Bitcoin and converted it to XRP. Then it got scammed. But that's just my pathway. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means that it'll be a hell of a lot harder for them to scam me again. I'm not, and I think a lot of people go through this kind of thing. Okay, so let me show you, if you are interested in following the pathway of these coins. Yeah, Flare Network, XLM, HBAR, XDC, IOTA, all these coins. SpaceX, yes, SpaceX is a great investment. There's no question about it. I still, like I said, I still invest in DJT. I have faith that it's gonna do well, and it's cheap now. But more than what the investment is actually worth is you being an investor. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little chart. And yes, you could be a day trader. The rails of the new financial system, QFS, are being built on XLM, XRP. That's the bottom line. You're going to kick yourself if in a couple of weeks, months, years, XRP goes to $10,000 one morning or $100,000. This is the whole financial, and there's a limited amount. So yeah, the rails of the new financial. Okay, so let me just show you, if you're interested in monitoring over time, if this brings you pleasure. And again, the highest connection to the divine is pleasure. You should be living a life of joy, of investment, of buying the coolest fruit trees and nut trees or whatever you're into. Maybe you're into porcelain dolls. I don't know. But this is your life. This is the beauty to invest in to like if XRP does go to the moon, or if things start to turn around and these creeps, as soon as these creeps start dissolving and before our eyes, to give $50,000 to somebody or a family member and say, go buy a house, that you'll be able to do that because you were smart enough to invest in these commodities, these treasures, which will be limited and whatever. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you for your interest, an interesting platform that was recommended to me by I can't remember his name, but there was a trader. There was a trader who did a show years ago. I don't know if he's still on, but he was very, very interesting. I got your back. It's like the something the blockchain backer, I think it was called the blockchain backer. I don't know if he's still on anymore. I don't really have the interest or the desire to really follow such things, but I did back in the day, along with the digital asset investor. And I was looking at the digital asset investor maybe 8-10 years ago, and I was fascinated by all the material he was putting out about XRP and XLM and gold and silver. But I no longer have a deep interest to follow that because I already know about it. I want to learn about new things. So here's something that the blockchain backer recommended. I subscribed to his channel. For all I know, he's probably still doing this. He's a wonderful. It was a wonderful channel. So let me just right. So I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to show you this. Okay, this is what is this? This is from X. I'm splitting into. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay, this is called Coin Market. No, it's not called Coin Market Cap. It's called okay, well, I'll find out the name of it. Let me find out the name of it. Okay, let's see. Coin Market Cap. Yeah, okay. This is called Coin Trader. Okay. This is called Coin Trader. Okay, so let's take a step back here. We're now looking at Coin Trader. Okay, that's the platform that I want to introduce to our peeps. Let's see. Let me go to this one. I'm just going to go back to here. Okay, so this has a list, and here it says search a coin. If you want to search a coin, you would type it in here, and then you could look at the chart. So let me go back to here and go to XRP. Okay, so now we're going to Coin Trader. We're on Coin Trader, and we've looked up XRP to USD, to the US dollar. And you can see with these candles the flow of the asset, of where it's trading. So if people are interested in this, and what's great about this particular platform, I don't know how much I can do on this while I'm sitting here, but there are a lot of tools here you can go to, but there's also, you can, let's see if I can do this. You can follow it over a longer term. Like now we're looking at XRP over years. All right. And you can see how it went up and how it started. So the timeline that you look at is very important. What does this mean in this chart? If you're getting, we have a little more time. We have a little more time to get positioned. Yes, not much, however. Think they are holding off on the official confirmation, the Clarity Act, for a number of important reasons for the banks, etc. Okay, so Paul is putting out some very important information. There's time, but there's not a lot of time. So if you look at the flow of XRP from the early days where it was trading for, gosh, I hate this, all this stuff. It was trading for, let's see if, okay, it was trading for pennies. Okay, back here. I can't use it interactively right now because, but you can go to this coin trader and you can look up your favorite asset and you can see what it's doing on in terms of 1 day, 1 week, 3 months, 1 year. It makes a huge difference, the timing. So here, this was 2025. This is like 2024, I guess. In 2024, you could buy XRP for fractions of a dollar for very little. Okay. And then it went up and it went down, and you accumulate, you bought some more, and it went up, and then it went down and you bought some more. And right now it's at a very low, in my opinion, level, and it's still a very good buy. Now, I bought a lot of XRP at 40 cents, 25 cents, but I lost it all too. So it's all an opportunity, but it is not a good idea, in my opinion. And what Paul Little is saying, this is not the time to day trade, although you could probably make a very nice living just trading on a daily basis. I had a friend from the old days when I first learned about XRP. He said I remember even the numbers. He said, I buy at 15 cents and I sell at 22 cents. And he said, if you're patient and you can do that, he said, I'm making a lot of money doing that. So, again, this is the infinite nature of financial creativity. However, it is my opinion, and Paul seems to agree with me, that at this time, if you have the time to day trade, that's all fine and well. I don't feel interested enough to want to make money on a daily basis that way. I'm much more interested in developing the land. I'm building a house. We're building gardens and greenhouses and trying to make our water systems work and this kind of thing. So we are investing our creative energy into other projects, but at the same time, I think it's very important that people own as much of the ISO 222 coins as you can. XLM, XRP, HBAR, Quant, Solana, I would include in that category now. Flare Network, you could buy for $100. You could buy 10,000. ZCNB, whatever it is, Zebek, the Zebek Network. All these coins are tremendous opportunities right now. They're selling for 20 cents, $1. I mean, Quant is selling for like $70 or something. That's a little more. Solana is also a bit expensive, but still, compared to the stock market, compared to the kind of profits that you could make, kind of like what you did with silver. A lot of people on this channel have been hodling silver for years and years and years, and suddenly it went from $12 to 17 to 22 to 70 to $70 now an ounce. It's still, in my opinion, a great buy. If I had that kind of money, I would for sure continue to invest in silver. I would at 4,500 or 4,300. I would, if I had that kind of cash, I would not leave it in the bank. I would buy one. I would buy an ounce of gold and figure out a safe place to put it. That's all. I mean, That, I'm just saying that this is in line with the whole creative world that we're creating. Look how long. And now this was a project that goes way back. This is XRP, and look how long it stayed down here, and then it shot way up, and then it's kind of like middling. It's going up in like kind of like steps in steps. So that's yeah. I just wanted to make people aware of that, of Coin Trader. It's a free platform online, and I think it's really good to follow your assets, but and buy when it goes down. But I personally don't feel like, unless there's really a necessity, which I've run into where I desperately needed $500, then I would sell a portion of my XRP, but usually I would buy it back right away. So yeah, there is a little more time. I don't know if the Clarity Act is going to be the opening gate where the gun is shot and the runners start to sprint. I don't know. My experience with the white hats and the way this thing is unfolding is that I don't know. However, with that said, the way Bitcoin went up like that, that's old school. That's that's the creepazoid cartel. That's the criminal enterprise. What this is going to look like in the light, these coins are going to end all fraud and all profiteering on wars and child trafficking and all that. It's going to be, everything is now exposed. We're coming into a different consciousness, a completely different consciousness. It's not so much that the government's changing or this is changing. It's like we are exploding into the realm of divine creativity, in my opinion, and that this will be part of it. I know a lot of people feel that when the Clarity Act is passed, it's going to go to the moon. I don't know. I think of it like the EBS, but it wouldn't hurt for you and I to invest more. If I, whenever I get a little extra money, I don't hesitate to put $100 into XRP, and they're all people, the old timers. Are you going to teach about crypto taxes, or Diane gonna bail everything out? No, I'm not going to teach about crypto. Oh yeah, this is my trolls. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making yourself so obvious. I really appreciate that. The trolls are really so anyway, but no, I'm not going to talk about taxes. I don't think we're going to be dealing with taxes soon. I tried to get a hold of the IRS to find out a certain number that I need, and nobody's there. What kind of, what is that? What does that mean? That you can't reach somebody on the phone without waiting for 8 hours or whatever it is. It's insane. Okay, so I think that's I've just kind of given you the overview of why invest. Big Bird will be back next week, and he'll get more granular. And yes, you should have a cold wallet. It's not my expertise. I don't really want to talk about something I don't know about, but I do know that in my humble opinion, it is a very good idea to hodl, to hold as much of the ISO 200 and their related coins as you can. And I include silver, I include SpaceX, I include gold, well, all that. We should have the mindset of wealthy investors. And whether it's worth a lot now or tomorrow doesn't matter to me. It's worth to me. I believe in it, and it is amazing. So agree with you. The direction specific cryptocurrencies are going in the very near future, months, years. Don't forget Canton Coin on the level of Zebek. I don't know Canton Coin, but I'll check it out. Can you write that down? CANTON. Or give me a pen?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll give me a pen? Can you give me a piece of paper too? Just write it down in the book. Canton,
Yeah,
CANTON.
I remember.
Okay, you'll remember. Okay, but yeah, all these little tips, do not take them seriously, and put $100, put $50 into it. The coins that what Paul Little is saying, the meme coins, the coins like Pepe and Doge to some degree, all these coins, like, whoa, it's going up. This is just pump and dump. It's just people getting excited about. It's like a pet rock. Jamie Dimon called Bitcoin pet rock. It's going, it doesn't have any utility. It doesn't have a purpose. And we are coming into the age of divinity, where everything that has a purpose has a value. So a rich man may not be somebody who has hundreds of ounces of gold stashed away in his back pocket. It may be somebody who's just really in tune with reality and can guide you. We are going to be coming into an age where things of value will be appreciated, not things that, like for years, I know you've been like this too, but for years I thought to myself, what is wrong with Americans that they're so into sports people and actors and musicians, that they get their wisdom from these idiots? I mean, I'm just like, what is wrong? But now we're finding out these were people that were pumped up by demonic forces. They were they're part of the cabal. We talked about it last night. The black nobility, these mafioso, the Ndrangheta, the all these mafioso cartel organizations that were running the world and rewarding people for doing their bidding, and that was the actors and actresses. But we're coming into an era where value will be attached to things that really mean something. And what means the most, the highest level of spirituality, like I said, is both in the physical world, in the lowly physical world, in the dirt. James, we went on two different directions last night. James stayed in the wash. He did some panning, and we went up on the mountain. We were looking for it looked like a doorway into the mountain. When we came back, Danielle and I had a lot of prickers in our ankles, and James had a bucket of very beautiful, rich soil. Now, you might think to yourself, it's just dirt, but this dirt is to us worth more than gold, because we can translate that dirt into the most delicious food you can imagine. So in this new age, and this is, why I don't have, this is why this broadcast, it doesn't resonate with people, because people are they're still waiting for something to happen. They're waiting for, Oprah to come back from the dead. I mean, I don't know what they're waiting for. They're still, most people don't know about XRP. Most people don't know about XLM. But the people who are accumulating in this channel, and they're not numbers-wise, a lot of them, but you guys are the power brokers of the future. If you own 1,000 XRP and it goes to $100,000, that's $1 million, man. I mean, and you bought it for whatever, $1,000. No, 1,000 coins. Yeah, let's say a little more than 1,000. Whatever. I'm just saying that, like, you are the purveyors. You are the folks that will thou shalt not worship idols. Yeah, the idols. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I hate Bruce Springsteen. I hate everything he stands for. Born in the USA. This guy, like, who are you? What Clint Eastwood, I love his stuff, but at least he has to me, a point that he resonates with. But Oprah Winfrey, a child trafficker, we're all waiting to hear. I can't wrap my Obama. I mean, this guy's a cartel kingpin, a cartel figurehead. What happened? What happened? Nothing happened. What happened is that the people on this channel are waking up to their own genius. That's it. That's all that has to happen. I don't know, Ken 68, what happened? Nothing happened. Everything happened because we stopped looking for things on the outside to give us validation, and we started believing in ourselves, in the force, in the source, and becoming the people that we are supposed to be. Whether we're millionaires or not, it doesn't matter if you are connected to your own creative potential. We're having just as much fun building a house with very little money. We went down to Phoenix. We bought $200 worth of windows. That's enough for us to build a big, nice greenhouse. That's, someday, maybe I'll say, oh, you have a fully, a Tartarian level greenhouse for $50,000. So let's buy it. Well, right now I don't have that kind of money, but I'm still getting just as much joy from doing this and from building my own house. And I'm about to start on the roof. I have, we've put enough. I'm very close to having my second floor studio. Do you know how exciting that is to me? I mean, if I had $5 million in the bank, would it be as exciting as having my own studio that I created and built with my own hands, that I designed, that I with certain things in mind? Whether it works or not, I'll find out soon. But being built based on utility. Yeah, it's all about utility. So $200 for windows, and Diane gets $0. Right. Diane, I don't know who Diane is. Apparently the trolls have gotten Diane. Who's Diane? Oh, Diane. You're saying Diane. Oh yeah. And Diane gets nothing. Right. Thank you, troll, for hitting me where it hurts. So anyway, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought he was insinuating that. Whatever. Trolls. So it's important not to talk to trolls. That's the bottom line. I want to just remind everyone, I just want to watch a short film to remind everyone that if you want to have maximum health, if you're having any kind of health issues and you're tired of all the side effects from the drugs that are being pushed, we're watching these movies and they say, well, you may have prostate cancer. If you take this pill, you may go into a coma. 20% of people, die. It's just, I'm like, are you kidding me? This has no side effects because it deals with frequency, which we all know is what it's all about. So, okay. So I just want to show you a movie of how to set up the X2O water machine, just to make it a little more tangible and to bring it into a kind of reality. Then we'll do the tune. Okay. Ready? So let's go. Wait. Oh, I have to make it work first. Let's see. Okay.
Place LifeWave X2O on a flat, stable surface. Store the packaging safely in case a return is needed. Plug in power supply, switch on, and the screen will illuminate. Place drain hose in sink. Turn primary valve to flush and power on. And clean water and refill as needed. Go to settings, flush filter, flush primary. Return valve to normal. Turn secondary valve to flush. And clean water and refill as needed. Select Flush Secondary in Settings. Return valve to normal. Store hose. Close cover. Tap Confirm. Fill the reservoir with clean water. Light infusion begins automatically. It's 45 to 50 minutes for 2 glasses. Place glass in the LifeWave X2O and dispense. For the best results, consume immediately after dispensing on an empty stomach.
So I just wanted to show you how easy it is to install the water filter. It's I mean to get it up and running, and then you can have light infused water every morning, and I believe we feel more clear-headed and we have more energy, but I believe that over time, yeah.
You and Dr. Stacey answered about how long you can drink the water.
Right, and Dr. Stacy, we talked to Dr. Stacy online today, and she said you can leave the water out for about 5 hours, and it will still have the light infused.
But it has to be in blue.
But she says it's better if you store it in either an amber or a blue glass because the light affects the light in the water. Did you find out long the water? Yeah, so it stays about 5 hours. That was the answer. But it may stay longer with amber or blue glass. Tokenization, right. Tokenization is very important with the new financial system. So you'll be able to buy a piece of, a townhouse in Bolivia with your XR. It's just going to be, I don't know if you're familiar with the Lobster platform, but smart contracts, right. Instant worldwide financial payments, all coming. And you will Zebek is involved with payments, as is and so like what they're saying at Coinbase, I'm missing names, but they're saying that instead of getting paid, let's say once a month or once a week or every 2 weeks, you will be constantly receiving money because you're not dealing with a bunch of ignorant parasites who are hoarding your money and not releasing it to you. Everything will flow. This is the idea of flow, and it will connect, in my opinion, with a sort of sense of creative pleasure that will be phenomenal. Smart contracts, right? Instant worldwide financial payments, all coming. You'll be able to invest in coconuts, and it'll open up channels of communication that are profound. We're coming into a new world. So let's just play a little bit of a tune. Let's play. Let's do this. How do I do this? Okay. I surrender in the courtyard. I surrender on the street. I surrender my ambitions and the ways of deceit. Sweet surrender. Language of the heart. Sweet, sweet surrender. Of the heart.
surrender to our new love on any path it takes. In the beauty of this moment, there are no mistakes. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet, sweet surrender, language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to sing together round the language of the heart. Love is a river, fear is a stone that I skip across the water on my gentle journey home. Sweet journey home, sweet journey home. Sweet, sweet journey home, sweet journey home. We all need to come together. We all need to come together. We all need to share together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to be together. We all need to sing together. We all need to dance together round the language of the heart. We all need to feel together. We all need to dream together. We all need to know together the language of the heart.
So thanks so much for coming tonight. I next week we'll have Big Bird back, God willing. But just the knowledge that this information, just like Paul Little and I mean, I bought Bitcoin when it was like pennies, and sold it because I wasn't aware. I didn't fully understand what this represented. But we now have this information. These are going to be the rails of finances. Everything is going to be moving with the speed of creative impulses, and we're coming into an incredible period of time and purpose, and utility. So may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. If you want to get into these patches, I think the patches are phenomenal. Insurance, health insurance, we don't get health insurance, but we do get patches, and we do have this X2O machine. It's awesome. So, join us in good health and good finances, in understanding that we're coming into the Great Awakening. It's not going to happen, in my opinion, in like a flash of light, but it is happening, and everyone can feel the transformation that's taking place. So may force be with you. May you use the force. May you know that you are the force. May source be with you. May you use the source. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow night. Let's get out there with a big smile on our face.